Might be my arrogance, but ain't nobody stopping me. That's how I go when you pay for them shows and you study that pimp biology.
A little bit of false advertising there in the intro. We're not live, even a little bit, but it doesn't matter. You know why? Because it's Rick and Morty Day. Well, it was Rick and Morty night last night. New episode is out, season 5, episode 4, and myself and the wonderful Nixie to the Naxie, the one and only, who I was going to do a rhyme, but I decided I couldn't do it. It's the one and only Nixie. Hello.
Hello.
This is the worst intro ever.
Do you want to redo that?
No. Revel in my awfulness. Fuck it. You know, we're one take around here. One take, Dave. One take, Dave. So we literally just watched Rick and Morty. It's a little bit late for Nixie to stay up and watch Rick and Morty live on Sunday nights. It's like 4 in the morning when it comes out, so it's a little unreasonable. So we watched it today. What'd you think?
I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was ridiculously awesome, but I still feel like they're leaning on the whole building a team, the thing. I'm gonna stick with that. That's my theory for this season finale.
You're going on that pretty hard. And I'm gonna agree with you to an extent. This episode was a little well, actually no, I could agree with you even more because I think the president is gonna end up being a part of that team.
Exactly.
You know, so there's very possible that it fits your little theory there. So this episode was a strange one. It had a cold open that's been out for a week. I watched the cold open last week. And I wasn't sure if it was going to lead to an actual episode. We're seeing some tropes repeating. That's another thing that I'm noticing about this season. They don't mind going over angles they've already gone before. Now, this was a combination of a few different episodes that they've already done. You can make the... it wasn't toxic world, but it was goo world, essentially, semen world that they got blown into, just like they got blown into toxic world. Now, the similarities stopped there because they didn't actually get changed or put into another universe. But what they brought into the universe changed their own, and not for the better. And I thought that was interesting. The orange juice callback I absolutely loved. It was minor and most people will miss it. But Raising Gazorpazorp, which this was also a clear nod to, with, once again, Morty having to fuck another machine. This one not as advanced, but still, he ends up having another baby. Like this
another
one, and this time an incest baby. This episode was full of all kinds of crazy things just like that. And then we had another subplot that was brought in with the chuds that we've never heard about up until now. So Let me ask you there. What do you think of the storyline jumping and these connective tissue storylines that we don't know about, the off-screen things that they reference? It feels like it could be lazy, but is it? What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I remember watching episodes of Stargate when I was a teenager, and they would randomly, start the episode coming back from off-world and talking about a race, and then you've never heard of them before, but they're like, yeah, they've always existed. Don't you remember we were walking back in that intro one time 10 seasons ago? So I don't personally mind the whole referencing it's a good way to bring in a new race without having to go through the ball ache of going actually through them. Right. It's kind of like when they did the Citadel episode where they were like, we're going to Atlantis. This is amazing, and we never actually saw Atlantis.
No, but the consequences of it were later felt, which I found funny. Yes. So it was a paradox in a way because he freaked out so hard on Morty touching the ocean, but we already know that he swam in the ocean to fuck a mermaid who turned out to be a princess in Atlantis, which is fantastic. It really was a nice little...
It's a real thing for princesses.
He does. Oh, yeah, and he's the power, man.
Oh, man, he's got maybe a mermaid Rick out there, and now we've got Chud Rick.
Yes.
Which is another reoccurring theme of duplication.
Yeah,
Or,
we got
or
another
evolution.
Well, and now we have a son. Rick has a
Yes.
full-blown son, which
I
is
did.
new.
I did love the way they got around, because it was like the end of the episode, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be with you. We're gonna raise it. We're gonna," and then she was like, "No, they're fresh to go. Straight out of the box. See you
Straight
later."
out of the
And,
box,
like,
which is a great joke. Great
It's
joke.
a
Straight out of the box.
great one. Straight out of the box. Great reference.
I love that. That was really
Great
good.
one.
But there were so many things that I noticed in this episode that usually I have to watch a few times before I did. But they were very standouty, and it makes me feel like that was on purpose. The one thing that I'm going to say that they've done a little too much of this season is the political stuff. They've been a little ham-fisted, especially on gender rights. Not even like trans or inter or anything like that. I'm talking basic male-female dichotomy shit. Stuff that we should be long fucking past. They've been hitting that hard this season. Am I wrong?
No, I've noticed it a lot as well. There's been a lot of focus on Beth and how awesome she is without Rick, as like, you know,
Right.
as like sort of learning to believe in herself more. Summer's become a much more prominent character. Like, she's actually going on trips with Rick without Morty there and everything. So like, it just feels like they're sort of bringing the girls out and sort
I'm
of
meaning
going
more of the references. The
Yeah.
like especially in this episode where they, and again, that's another parallel to raising Gazorpazorp. When they went off planet, when they went to Gazorpazorp, they were held trial, you know, by the women that ran the planet there, and they did a parallel of that where they made the jokes about, you know, the women being equal to men and stuff, and this time they were a little more ham-fisted with it, especially Beth, who's getting bitter again. We're getting bitter Beth again, season 2 levels of bitter Beth, and I'm not sure how I'm feeling about it. I've also noticed that Jerry's and Beth's relationship is fucking decaying. I don't know if you're noticing it too. Last couple of episodes especially, like, they've gone back into everything that Beth really seemed to hate about Jerry and just kind of tolerate. He doesn't seem to be improving, and she's back to being a full-blown alcoholic. You notice in the other episode, Jerry enabled her ass with it. Was like, as soon as they had a little bit of problem with Morty, I'll get the wine. Thank you.
Yep.
It's like, yikes, yikes. So I don't know if this is going to be all rehashed, but I'm assuming the end of this season is going to see the split up of the family in a way again. I'm just not sure in which way. There's a lot going on while there's nothing going on. Because once again, we got no continuity storyline in this that leads us to believe there's anything building, but most seasons don't until they do. I don't know what to expect with the back half of the season.
I don't know. I still feel like, even if it's subtle and it's not, maybe it doesn't come into anything, but I really do feel like they're putting a team together.
I think you're right.
I feel like even in a D&D aspect, I mean, you got the Chuds that are obviously fucking barbarian. You've got like the nymph guy. Like, it just feels like there's
Mr. Nimbus.
Mr. Nimbus. He controls the police.
He controls the police.
There's a whole bunch of characters coming out of the woodwork that you kind of like. They fit certain tropes that become very team-esque.
Yeah.
I feel like there's going to be some super something. Maybe it's even something to do with evil Morty.
I'm wondering that myself because, you know, it's been a while since we've gotten evil Morty. And you gotta figure, with nothing else happening and all this weird stuff, they've gone hyper weird. You know, they've gone extra angular in a lot of ways, and I'm wondering if that could just be building to that. And there's a couple other unfinished storylines that could rear their ugly head at any given point as well. So you just never know. But the one thing I am noticing, there's a lot of procreation. There's a lot of people are having babies. There's all these fucking, both Rick and Morty had a child in this episode.
This is true. Also, did you notice as well that they almost provided Rick with another love interest that he was interested in actually staying with?
Oh, yes.
And then he was like, oh, wait, we don't have to raise this? And she was like, yeah, see you later. And he was like, oh, yeah. And then he literally presses the button that's like,
yep.
Well, that was weird. Or something.
That was easy.
That was easy.
Which I have that button at the shop. That's so funny.
But like, it just feels like there's a lot of I don't know if there's sort of like a bit of a tone of Rick suddenly realizing that he actually does need other people and not just himself.
He wants
because
a family.
He does want a family, but like maybe it's not the family that he thinks that he needs. It's
yeah.
Or what, it's not what he wants, it's what he needs. And I think that's maybe where we're
what if it's the realization that, you know, especially since the family's been back together and Rick has lost the power in the relationships, maybe he's just realizing he's over this and he's looking desperately to replace it. I mean, he's not even focusing on Morty in the ways that he used to. I mean, Summer became more of his best gal pal there for a while, and even that seems to be subsiding. The relationship between Summer and Beth is getting more and more deep, I'm noticing as well. So I don't know. It seems like maybe this is going to be a time where we might get an actual split because Rick seems to be wanting to replace who he has because it's not working. They're a fucking shit show. They're a shit show.
People are realizing that they don't need Rick as much as well, like Beth, especially Beth. She's realized throughout the storyline, like from last season into this season, is that she doesn't need him as much as she thinks that she did.
Well, remember the whole
of the first seasons were all about her really, really needing him in her life, and please don't leave me, please, like her real abandonment issues. And then she sort of realized, actually, I don't need. But I think there's an also massive thing about how the things that make us broken as a family are the things that sometimes hold us together.
Right.
Like the relationship between Beth and Jerry, it continuously decays. They go on a like a wheel where it decays. Then they realize that they actually do need each other, and then it rolls around and it keeps rolling and rolling and rolling. But like there's so much stuff that I think the family realize that their broken pieces are actually what makes them a family unit, rather than saying that being broken means that you don't work. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I think I do, but I think they're going to go a different way. I think this family is going to be apart. And not only are they going to be apart, I think they're all going to go and find successes and not in the best ways. I have a feeling one of these seasons, we know we're going 10 seasons. One of them will be Rick going into each of their own kingdoms. Like I just got a feeling something weird is going to happen, and Morty's going to have his thing, maybe even going to the Citadel of Rick's and ruling with the evil Morty, or who knows. Summer, I can easily see, shit, she's already been an empress on a fucking other planet. It is not a big leap to think that couldn't easily happen again. She's very capable. Jerry just fails upwards sometimes, and there's already different civilizations that I think we've seen that he could definitely have an impact on. And Beth already has a fucking better version of herself out there kicking ass in the fucking galaxy. There's potential for and this could really feed into your whole team concept. What if the end of the season is a team forming, breaking this family apart, and next season or the season after, maybe next season's all about Rick's solo adventures or Rick adventures with Morty without the family until Morty leaves as well, and then the season after that is all about Rick trying to rebuild and get that team back together, which he hates doing, by the way, which is really funny. We already know how much he hates building a team. But the only team he needs is family to take on this fucking unit. This would give them the Avengers angle. They'd give them, this whole bigger.
You notice they mentioned Marvel specifically today.
Yeah, they did.
They did too. So I don't know. That's just my prediction. Nixie's prediction. Nixie predicts that there will be a team of people put together by either end of this season or beginning of next.
I think it's very possible.
This might be the season where, like you say, like there is the breaking, and then maybe next season is focusing on more of the building, but it will be all callback to things that we've seen. So people like they're bringing so many different random characters in that are like, oh, I have this power, and it's like, okay, that's pretty cool, but
they're
like,
all
what
serious
are you
powers, right? And
exactly.
These aren't just but again, it is something that we've seen in the past out of Rick and Morty, but never all in the same season. Every episode has been that type of way. Even the squids, even different versions of themselves becoming the big bad. It's I don't know. I don't know where we're going. And we may have definitely overread the fuck out of this season and this episode in particular. But that's what good writing will do. And this has been a good season. It really has. It's been a solid season so far. 4 episodes, I'm happy.
Enjoying it. I feel like they're very much leaning into my favorite type of genre, which is very like fantasy, medieval fantasy, like D&D sort of figure. Like we had the episode at the beginning with the dogs. That tickled me, and that first, was it the first episode? It was the first episode, wasn't it? That like was amazing. But then we had like the fantasy chuds. They're obviously very
barbarian,
barbarian-esque. I love it.
It was very cool. I love we don't forgive humans, we eat humans. And then it's like so easily broken. And like, yes, we're working with the humans now. Chudely ho, or whatever the hell he said. Jesus Christ.
Chudely ho, yeah.
So funny.
Have we had a space episode this season?
What's that?
Have we had an actual space episode this season?
Ooh, no, not really.
Other than the 3 where they were going around because the planets were exploding, but the main story in that episode was actually Captain Planet or Captain Planetina.
Got it. So all right, first episode was the dogs and the time and Mr. Nimbus.
Yep.
Second episode was the squids.
Was that on? That was in space.
Sort of. That was all the different family members or all the different versions of themselves.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, no, that was on Earth. Yep.
That was on Earth, and last week's episode was. What the hell did they do?
Last week's episode was.
What did they do in episode 3? We covered it. Shit.
We did.
We did a full episode. Oh my God, dead air, Nixie.
Oh no, wait. Because I know I referenced the team building.
Oh, it was the Captain Planet episode.
Yes. So yeah.
God, it feels like more has happened.
The main story of that was in Earth.
Yeah, they didn't go to space again. Yeah, no, I agree.
So, yeah, we've had a lot of Earth episodes in a row. I wonder if that means anything.
Episodes. It could. I don't know. It's hard. It's really hard to know. I also like, and this is the final thing. We really will get out of here. We're already 15 minutes in. Good Lord, we just went live. The one thing I noticed though is they didn't even bother with the Rick Sanchez president thing. Like that wasn't supposed to be the Rick that he's always known him to be. That was supposed to be Fishing Rick.
Yeah.
But I guess they just dropped the pretense because there's really no point in thinking the president's that fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And remember that was something else I noticed too. Fuck, we're going longer because I just noticed that as well. The president they're trying to wedge something between Rick and Morty. The president was like, "I can protect you, Morty. Blow that whistle." You know, they're teasing a lot of the breakup of Rick and Morty, and even more than I realized earlier because I just thought of that.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Definitely.
Well, I think that's about it. What is your rating for this week's episode?
Oh, I would give it a solid 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. Out of 10, about an 8 then?
Yeah, about an 8.
About an 8. All right. Yeah, not easy, not hard to extrapolate. All right, thank you guys very much for being here on another episode of Dave and Nixie Take on Rick and Morty. That's not the name of the show. There's the portal gun. Get out of here. Here's the outro. We'll see you next time right here on Dead on Dave Live. Nixie, I just ended the episode, Nixie.
Okay. Okay.
I haven't fully ended it yet, but we're still doing stuff, Nixie. We're going to keep doing this for ever and ever. For 100 years, Nixie. 100 years, Nixie, we'll be doing this.
Oh, jeez, Dave. I don't know. I need to focus on
you need to sit down and listen to me. You listen to me, Nixie. You got to understand. Forever, you don't have a choice. All right, that's enough of that. Get out of here. Good night.